Oh, it's a beautiful day here in the mountains. Look at that snow. We were just thinking, we had such an interesting class with a bunch of parents the other day, young parents.
There
They
were
were good ones.
maybe 30 couples or so. They were really fun young couples who were trying to do a good job with their families. But actually, every other time in the Sunday school class, we talk about parenting, then with marriage and parenting, marriage, and we ask an interesting question.
Yeah, we just said, which do you work the hardest at, parenting or marriaging? And it was unanimous.
Not any of them said they were working harder at their marriage than their parenting.
70 hands went up that they work harder at parenting than at marriaging. And then the next question was even more interesting. We said, is that a problem? How many of you think that's a problem? And 70 hands went up.
Yeah, they really did. I remember when we had our 9th child, you were needing something, some funny thing that you couldn't find, or you need something to eat or something. And I said, you know what? I have 9 kids. I can't have 10 kids. I can't take care of you two. You got to take care of yourself. But you know what? That was wrong. You really have to prioritize your spouse, no matter what. Prioritize each other. Not equal time, I have to say.
Why do you think, Linda, why do you think people tend to put more priority and more effort and more emphasis on their kids, on their parenting, than on their marriage?
Oh, because it's so in your face. You have to take care of those kids. They're so needy.
Yeah.
Not to say that you're not always needy,
The
but
squeaky wheel
You
gets.
don't cry like we do. And so it really, it's one of those things where you have to do a good job. You only have them for a certain amount of time. You've got to take care of them. You've got to do your very, very best. And sometimes the spouse gets lost in the shuffle.
I think you're right, though. We all feel like we've only got them for a short amount of time, and we have to prioritize them.
And another factor is that sometimes parenting is just so fun. You take your little daughter out and you get a new sledding hill. And let's face it, you can't have much more fun than that.
Oh, I'm too heavy. I slowed us down. Here we go.
What's better than going sledding with a young Viking who has horns on his head? Lila, how did you think of that new idea?
Because I saw the 2 trees and I saw the bump and I thought that would be fun.
We can do that.
I made one right there too.
That is so cool.
You're creative, darling.
I'm going to show you that one.
Hey, Lila, I got one
go,
question
sweetie.
for you.
What?
Which is the most important, parenting or marriaging?
Merging.
I think you're right.
You got it right, kiddo.
Well, I think Lila's right.
She had no idea we were going to ask her that question.
How did she know that?
She just popped out knowing exactly the right thing to say, and it's because her mother and her father do such a good job of
Of
marriaging.
prioritizing each other, of
Yeah.
marriaging. I think we want to make marriaging a word that's used as often and pursued as diligently as parenting. Because, here's an interesting thing, Linda, see if you agree. If you have a good marriage and if you work hard at it, if that is a high priority, something that you put your effort into, the results of that will carry over into the parenting and you'll be better parents. But I'm not sure it works the opposite way. There's a lot of people who are great parents and it doesn't necessarily carry over into the marriage.
Yeah. I remember, actually, Christy remembered yesterday going to a funeral of my sister's husband, who died at age 57. And their son got up and said, the best thing my dad taught me was how to treat my mother. And that is how I'm going to treat my wife. And I think that does make more of an impact
And carried
on our
over
kids
into
than they realize.
how much they respect their children and how well they
Right.
care for them. It's a little like the thing, the analogy that you've probably heard before of the oxygen masks drop down when you're on an airplane. And the flight attendant says, first put the mask on yourself and then on your children. And I think you could say, first prioritize your marriage and do the things necessary to make it work and to make it strong and to make it an example to your children of love and respect and mutual partnership and so on. And then put the mask, the parenting mask, on the children.
And there's probably a lot of mothers out there that are just saying, I know what you mean, but it's really
It's
hard to do. So we just wish you the best. We hope that you can think a little bit more about marriaging and your relationships. We know a lot of single parents are watching this, and kudos to you. You've got the hardest job of all. But if you have a spouse, take care of them.
And especially as the new year begins, good time to maybe make some New Year's resolutions about marriage.
Right. Good luck with that.
Talk to you later.